Hello, my name is Mark and welcome to I Am Organic Gardening. I'm located in Zone 7A in the state of New Jersey, and today we're going to go over, I'm going to start a new project. I usually talk about organic gardening and also farming on my 22-acre organic farm, but today we're going to go over beehives. I am not an expert about this, and I want to tell you up front so you don't have to watch the video. This is me starting beekeeping. I do have some knowledge about it, but I am not an expert. It's really a fascinating thing to do. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, and I hope you see them and I hope you learn from them so you don't do the same thing. I just want to take you on this journey with me to see how easy it is at times and how difficult it is, and then making common mistakes is going to happen no matter what. It's not something that you can read in a book. You have to have the practical experience. So enough said. I'm going to be installing a new bees into the hive behind me, and let's see how it goes. One thing I did, I watched some of the video I took already. I shake the bees way too much. That's one of the bad things I did already, and you can leave the comments and yell at me if you want to, but it's just not a good thing to do. But I will learn, and when I install another beehive, I will hopefully get better. Thanks. Enjoy the video. So what we're seeing here is part of my 22-acre organic farm. That's my house in the middle of the screen right there. And then I have my neighbor's barn and silo next to me. And you can see all that green, lush grass. But what's growing in it now is massive dandelions. Our soil is so good, we grow large dandelions, and they're starting to bloom. They'll be opened up later in the day, so it's early in the morning. Also, now that's blooming, I have a lot of it. I have an abundance of it on the farm. It doesn't cause any problems to my soil or crops or anything else either. This is purple dead nettle, and we can look closer that we have that nice little purplish little flower on the top there, and it's doing an amazing job, and this is going to feed my bees. That's what we're going to talk about, is bee food. And this large patch, we have something growing that's another amazing thing. We have clover. I have 4 different types of clover in here. We have crimson clover, mammoth red clover, medium red clover, and also New Zealand white clover. And they're planted in different stages that goes from front here, this beginning here, all the way back. And this is about, I'm going to say, anywhere from 300 to 350 feet long, and it's about, let's say, 25 feet wide. And on the back of my property, I have one little, and we'll get a better close-up of it later on. We have one beehive, as you can see in the middle of the screen, upper top. We have one hive, which is one deep box, and then I have a feeder on top, and we have our bees that were delivered yesterday in a container. I had them shipped through Amazon, through a dealer, and it's a 3-pound bee package. And let's take a closer look and open it up. So here's my gorgeous setup. This is amazing. So I have some cinder blocks or stones on the bottom, raise the pallets off the ground so they don't rot. I have 3 pallets there. I chose a pallet so I can hook this green strap that you see on top over here, on top of the hive, because we get heavy winds and I don't want it to blow away. I notice more beekeepers are doing this in windy areas. And then we have our packaged bees over here. They come in a cardboard box. Inside the cardboard box, and you'll see later, is a plastic frame that has grates on it, so they have plenty of air. And we're going to be opening that up and dumping in our hive. We have one deep brood box there. I have my base frame, which is a screen, deep brood box, and then also here something new, and I kind of like it because I've done bees before and I've not really had good success with them, but this year I've been training a little bit better, and beekeeping the first maybe 1 to 3 years is kind of difficult. The people that gets great success their first year, I applaud them. I wish I was that person, but I'm going to show you how I go through this process, and it's not easy. I rather teach organic farming, which is mostly what I do on my channel, but this is a whole different another realm. Hive that I bought has been coated with wax, beeswax on the outside to make it more durable, and also also like to point out now, this is a very cool thing that I just learned or something like that, and I didn't do last time because I had. This here is an entrance reducer. It slides out. There's a bigger opening underneath there, but I'm blocking it off and turning it a different way. And here's a smaller entrance right here. That's what you're supposed to do, like probably in the first couple of weeks, because you might get some kind of, like, let's say, enemy to come in there, and this is a new hive for a lot of people, so you want this, or a lot of bees, so you want it as small as possible. They're not going to be looking out foraging for too much food too quick, because I'm going to put sugar water inside this, and I'll show you a better close-up of that later on. Here's my bee package. It does come in an outer carton, and it says queen bee and attendance right there, and it was shipped by UPS. So we're going to open it up. Got a knife here. Cut it open. Probably, hopefully not disturb the bees too much. Sorry, I'm getting in your way here. Just take your time opening it up. Be patient. It's, again, early in the morning. Hopefully the bees are quite relaxed. I don't smoke them at this point, or need to. And this is really good quality shipping container. I'm very happy with this. This is awesome. And here's our bees inside. You might have to rip. It might be easier if we rip a corner apart here. So I'm able to rip this box down like so and get easier access to it. And on the inside here, you can see that we have our little finger tabs that we can pull the can out. And also here's a little, I don't know if you can be able to see it or not, but there's a little metal tab here. That's where the queen is inside her cage. And we'll get to that later on here. We're just gonna get rid of this box for now. And you can see some of the sugar coming off, but very good quality package. Now, a lot of bees keepers I see online, they'll take this can out and then dump it through this way. But also, I'm not familiar with this, there's a door on one of these sides here that we can open up. Like here's a good one or something like that. It might take a little effort, but we can take these tabs, and there's a hinge here, and we can just dump it out that way. I think I'm going to do that way because this seems like a very narrow opening to let a lot of the bees out. So I have nothing in the hive right now. I just set it up the other day. It's easier to set things up, and then when you get your bees in, you can just go in there and open them up, and you don't have to worry about getting everything out there on the same day. You don't have to be stressed out by any means. So we have our lid here. We're going to set it to the back. We have our inner cover. Then we have a bee extruder. I'm just going to use this for temporary purposes because what I have here, and this is something new. I don't know if you've ever seen this or not. Let's see if we can get a really good picture of it. This is a feeding tray. Let's see if you can see this. Oh, perfect. These slats here float. This is a sugar patty here. I'm going to start with the one on one side. This is all waterproof, and the bees come up through the center here, and then we'll go in, and these things, once I add the sugar water, float, and the bees don't drown, and this will go up and down inside the tray. That gives you a better example of what's going on here. Again, this slot here goes all the way down to the bottom on the other side, like so, and the bees can come in on the top of the brood box. And then we have two feeding chambers. They can go to each side. And again, I got my sugar patty here with Bee Alive nutrients and pollen in there. And this side I'll fill up water. Most likely people feed on both sides. They'll fill up both sides with sugar water at a ratio of 1 to 1. Equal amounts of sugar to equal amounts of water. Now we're just gonna set that aside. We can put that back later on. I'll show you when I fill it. So now we have our deep box here. We're going to take out, let's see, probably 4 frames in the middle here. I got 3 and I got 4, and we'll just set them over here for now. And this way, when I take the bees, I have plenty of space and I can dump them in there and then close it back up again. I'm going to take my Hive Tool here. That usually comes with your kit that you buy in a smoker. And there's these little tabs. I'm just going to pry them open a little bit, get them started. Not an easy thing to do, but there we go. They're sitting right there at the edge, which is nice. And I'm going to just tap them downwards. Oh, I can hear them move them around quite a bit. And let's open the door up and get some exciting footage. There we go. Look at that. They're coming out very nicely. You're not going to hurt them. They're pretty durable. And there's quite a bit in there. So we're going to tap them again. I feel like you can hear more sliding down. There's quite a bit in here. There you go. They're going to swarm around. Don't worry about it. Look at that. They even have some comb hooking up already. They're going to be kind of more on the angry side. You're not going to get them all. There's probably going to be a couple there that are dead. Here you can see inside. That's the feeding can, the sugar water. They've made actually a little bit of comb there. And this is what it looks like. And that queen, we're going to get to her in a little bit, but I want to get as many of these bees out as I can. They're pretty docile so far, which is nice. I'm just going to tap them. There we go. There, it's releasing. There we go. There we go. Good. There we go. Now we're going to set this over here in the front. Let them kind of acclimate and get things going. We're going to push these around a little bit on the bottom and spread them out. And we're going to put our frames back in. We're not going to injure any of them. They're all sitting on the bottom very nicely. Nicely evened out. We're just going to do this to kind of keep them in place for a little bit. And now we're going to go after my queen here. So now we're going to take this can out. Might have to use the Hive Tool a little bit. Sugar water is very sticky. And it's almost like a glue. Oh, they really, you can see inside here that they got all that sugar water and there's no fluid for them, so I got to feed them real quick. They're just eating on that sugar right now, you know. here's our queen. Usually sometimes it's in a regular package. Now what I don't like about this, and I wasn't aware of it, usually the things I see here, let's see if I can get a better shot here. Alright, which is a concern right now, is I have my queen and I have a cork in here, like so. I see that there's a cork. I don't think it's a sugar thing they would eat and get rid of it, but here I have my live queen inside there, and I want to release her, but I want to release her too quick. These bees are actually feeding her, like so. But now what I have to do, and I didn't realize that sometimes packages come with a tube on the end and it's filled with candy, but these don't have it or something like that. So this is not this is unexpected, but we'll see what happens. This cork will come out, and I have to go back inside now because I don't have it out here. I have to do something else to actually put like some kind of like a sugar cork in there somehow, or to come up with something so the queen is released slowly so they can acclimate it. Most likely it's been acclimated already and they are aware of her, but we want to do something a little bit different and better. Oh, I know what I can do. I'm going to take some of this sugar that's in here. We'll see if I can. Oh, I even got better. So I'm going to take this little cork out here, and I have some fondant. That's that sugar patty. I'm just going to take some of that and place it in there. This does look like a cork. It doesn't look like sugar by any means. I don't want to release her. Not yet. Yes, it is a cork. You can see that it is a cork there. There's always some kind of problems that allure to making your first bee experience a little here we go. And then we're going to just take this sugar, we're going to wrap it up in a ball here, and we're just going to place it there like so, and the bees will eat that, and we can still see our queens inside there moving around. And we're just going to kind of paste this over as much as we can. We might put a little bit more. No, it's good on the inside. She's good. Okay, now we're just going to take this and we're going to put it in the middle of our hive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 10 frames, and we're going to just hang it. We're going to leave it open and face forward so they can feed her. And we're just going to bend this tab to the side like so. And then we're going to slide these frames back in place so she's in good standing. There we go. And we're going to get some bees here and put her around her so she can feed. And let's see if there's any more in this cage. There's quite a bit left in there. They don't want to leave. It's all that sugar that's in there. There we go. Come on, guys. Be a little cooperative. There we go. We're doing a heck of a job here. Now we're going to put our feeding tray back on. You can see how active they are and love to see what's going on. They're figuring out where the entrance is right there, slowly. So we're going to do, and some of them are feeding on this patty already that I got in here. Some have done that. So we're going to just move these a little bit to the side. Put our feeder box up on top here. This doesn't crush them. And they'll figure things out slowly. We're going to take these and just tap them in the groove, like so. Okay, that's empty. We got them all out of there, and that's where our sugar was. Okay, now we got our trays lined up like so. Everything's at a nice angle. And now I have my sugar water here I made last night. I just take a equals amount of sugar to equals amount of water. I'm just gonna pour it in there. And I can see that it's nicely working. There's a beautiful float. Now they say this is waterproof. I'm going to put the queen excluder on top here, not so much to keep the queen out because she's in the cage still, but I just don't want them flying around if I have to feed them again. It'd probably be better because the bees can go through this, and that's what it's made for. I think I'm going to put like a metal screen on top in the future, and then we have a better situation for sure. I'm going to put my top cover on. I don't know if I need it, but it might get a little hot in the future. And also, we can put our top cover on. That's nice and locked. Make sure everything's sitting on the frame nicely. Take a nice little close look again. It seems like they're all very happy. It seems like they like their new home. And you can see here that entrance over on the corner here. They're actually guarding it already and going in and out and kind of getting location to hive. There's less of them flying around. They're more on the inside where the food is. And we'll see how it goes. Thank you so very much for watching. Give it a good thumbs up. Where's my thumb? There it is. Hopefully no bees will sting it. And we're in good shape. Please subscribe. I'm not an I'm not an experienced beekeeper by any means, but I'm learning slowly. And if you have any comments of what I did right or did wrong or anything else either, I'd love to hear from you because I learn from people every single day in my life. Enjoy, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.